Welcome to Charred Oak, the business, bourbon, and becoming podcast where bold ideas meet smooth pours. Hosted by entrepreneurs Matt Gerard and Shane Tice. This is your needed pour of inspiration, insight, and a splash of something strong. Each episode, Matt and Shane dive deep into the world of business, growth, and entrepreneurship, sharing real stories, practical strategies, and the mindset shifts that fuel success. Whether you're building your empire or just getting started, this is your space to learn, grow, and become. And of course, no episode is complete without the Bourbon of the Week, a curated tasting and review that pairs perfectly with ambition. So, pour a glass, pull up a seat, and let's build something great, one sip at a time.
Welcome back to Charred Oak. I am your host, Matt Gerard from Downrange LLC.
And once again, I'm your co-host, Shane Tice from 926 Custom Embroidery.
And I will let our illustrious guest
Illustrious. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. My name is Kris Wexel. I am the program director and operations manager for 102.3 The Coyote and Super Hits 93.5. Thanks for having me. It's so weird to be on the other side of this whole thing.
This is so excited that I get to be the first one to give you an interview.
This whole thing may turn around to me interviewing you at some point about where we are.
Why don't you just bring me on your show? We can do that. That would be live from location.
we could do that.
Yeah.
We could do that.
So many stories to be had.
Oh, so many. So many. How many hours do we have?
That is entirely on you. You told me you've got an hour.
1 hour.
You've got 1 hour.
And I've already messed that up. So,
well, I kind of did too, but that's besides the point. Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts. Some of the stuff that I haven't even actually heard before.
Oh.
How did you start in radio?
How did I start in radio? Well, do you want the long, boring version or the quick version?
How much of the hour are you going to eat up?
Well, I was 15. So I was 14 going on 15, and it was just something that I was always interested in. I knew from a very early age it's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something, and my parents were always like, okay, well, he's either going to do something with radio or TV, something. Like they just knew. In fact, going all the way back to when I was a kid, they bought me a Fisher-Price record player and a Fisher-Price tape player, and I remember the first time being able to record on a cassette. Do you remember a cassette? Mm-hmm. and how cool that was for me. How nerdy I am, I still have those cassettes.
Nice.
Oh, that is awesome. You know what that reminds me of? Do you remember Home Alone? His recorder.
Yes.
I had one of those with a kid. I do not still have those tapes, though.
Like what was it called? Like the talkback thing
Talk
that
boy.
he would, something
Talk
like that.
boy?
That's right.
Talk boy.
Yeah, that's right. And radio kind of runs in the blood. My great uncle was in radio and was a morning show host back in the Quad Cities. My grandma was a news reporter, also back in the Quad Cities. And I was little, like I didn't know that was going, but apparently it's in the blood.
No joke.
And so I was 12 years old when they took me to the radio station for the very first time. That was it. I was in.
Oh,
I was in.
That's just awesome. Well, and speaking of illustrious,
yeah,
you won an award recently.
I did.
Tell us about that.
did.
I'm excited to hear more about
Well, I will. There's been 3. Gosh, it's so weird to talk about this. And I'm not, I'm not one to go put all that out there. Mm-hmm. So you asking me all this is different. Mm-hmm. So I've been lucky enough I've won 3 national awards in the past year and a half. A year ago, I was named one of the top 30 country radio program directors in the country. Won that twice. So we were in Nashville. That's when they give us the award there during Country Radio Seminar. And then this last award that I just won was one of the top 25 program directors for radio in America. for both formats, since I've got a country format and I've got a classic hits format.
Yeah.
And you get nominated by your peers for these, and I'm sure there's tons and hundreds of nominations. And so my joke is, are you running out of people? Because I keep ending up with these awards. And
That's so great, though.
In fact, I just got this award in the mail the other day, so it is now in my office at home. But you're nominated by your peers and record label reps, network people. I've got a lot of friends at CBS, so I'm pretty sure a lot of those people are behind it, even nobody will come clean and admit it.
That's so neat, though.
But see, the neat thing for me from it being in radio all these years is that this is happening here.
Right.
I was going to ask you that next.
You're not a major market area.
Right. Yeah. This is happening here. So when we were all much younger, this is only the stuff that would happen, major market, large market, stuff like that. And my record reps are always telling me, listen, Kris, listen, because I laugh at it. Not in a bad way. It's just funny to me that I'm like in those top 30, in the top 25, and they're like, listen, in the whole country, you're in that top 25.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's happening right here. So
that is so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you ever get that? What is that called when you almost feel like you don't deserve it? What's the term I'm looking for? Humble.
I am very humbled by it.
Yeah. That I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a term, and it's going to show up right after we stop recording in
sure.
48 minutes and 32 seconds.
Time's
I got to keep this on. I already changed the bezel on my watch to make sure I could keep tagging on this thing. So, imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Do you ever feel like you have that?
I don't think I've ever heard that before, but I understand the definition.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
maybe
get that vibe with it?
Yeah.
And if not, that's fine too. It's just one of those things. Do you get that feeling, especially in like a smaller, like you said, a market?
Right. I would answer that with a yes.
Okay.
I guess that, yeah. That's a good way of putting that.
And that just makes it even cooler that we have that here.
Right. And also being in this for so long, and I've worked at the Quad Cities at 100,000 watt blow torches. I've worked in smaller towns, which is where I came from before I came up here, and stuff. And again, this is the stuff that you only see in the larger markets. Mm-hmm. And again, very cool that it's happening.
But
here.
your awards date back to what, 2016? There
was several other state awards.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, the Coyote was named the top station in the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly what year that was. 22?
Your very own Rochelle broadcaster, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention.
Take note. 22. Everything after COVID is a blur.
Right.
During COVID is a blur.
But again, all this stuff that's happening right here with these radio stations being a small market. And so we were awarded Station of the Year in the state of Illinois. I was actually broadcasting our morning show from Sandals Resort in the Bahamas when I got the news for that. So
cool.
We couldn't be in Springfield to accept it.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, no problem. So what I did was I was in the Bahamas at Sandals Resort and did the thank you speech from the beach.
Nice. That's a tough one. It's like, thank you, everybody.
So just some cool stuff, I guess.
That is so neat, though, that we have that we have you as a resource here in the community that can, that has that level of esteem, brings that extra little element of just awesome to Rochelle.
Well, thank you.
It's pretty neat.
Thank you. You know what else brings awesome? Is I've still got my sunglasses on.
That is the best part. This is our famous guy here right now. This is the most
We should have put the green screen. We could have put the beach behind him.
Oh, yeah.
Live from Sandals
that would be
Resort.
perfect. I'll do the weather. right over here. Yeah.
Okay. We talked about starting with cassettes. So speaking
Yes.
of old school technology.
Yes.
So what kind of changes have you seen in broadcasting from when you started and what
Okay.
you were operating with to where you're at now?
Okay, I'm going to flip this around real quick. So, growing up, for you two, what's the first thing that you had as far as media? Did you start with records? Did you start with cassettes? What did you have first?
I'm aging myself, but I had an 8-track.
Oh, okay. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it was Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah, I do love
And
that.
it would bind up halfway through, so it would skip tracks and go to the other
Right.
side, so you would get like half of it and then the other half of the other song.
That was great technology at the time.
It was.
Yeah.
I technically, generationally, I was a cassette tape, but I grew
Okay.
up with records, a Commodore 64, old Atari
Yeah.
era, obviously different
Yeah.
kind of media, but yeah, that's kind of where I started from.
Yeah, okay. Did you have a VCR or a Betamax?
We had a laser disc, a VCR.
They,
I don't know if we
I
had a
never had the
Betamax.
laser disc, but they had the other RCA. They called it the RCA disc, where it played with a needle.
Yes.
And you could put it. Yeah,
Yes.
they had that. That was a big trend for a while.
I don't know that if we ever had Laserdisc, but we had VCRs for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we may have had Beta for a very short time, but
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We've been on the wrong horse.
Well, when I started, when I was turning 15, I guess I was one of the lucky ones that I got to see all this change. So radio took a little bit of time to change, but once it did, it was quick. So 93, 94, and that we were still playing everything from reel-to-reel tape. But the reel-to-reel tape played fast enough that it was as close to sounding as a CD as you could get being analog.
Okay.
And so we were still all reel-to-reel. Going back to your 8-tracks, we had what we called carts. They looked like 8-tracks, but put them in the machine, hit play. That's how we played the commercials. Then we hit the button, go back to the reel-to-reels with the music. And then CD automation see, I'm boring you already.
Not at all.
CD automation they tried it. It sort of worked. It was difficult because you had to have, like 20, 25 6-pack machines all programmed. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And any stations that went to CD, we were playing them by hand, which I did a lot. And then when the computers were introduced, we laughed. I remember bringing the computer in, and they're like, well, just the commercials are going to play off of this. And we're like, oh, okay. So we still had reel-to-reel tape. We were playing the commercials off the computer, and we call it an EOM tone at the end that makes everything segue, and there was no such thing at the time. Everything would just play, stop, next, play, stop. And so then it progressed forward pretty quickly, and they're like, okay, start dubbing all the music in it. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So that took off. Hard drives weren't so big then. It would hold a little bit. And then to stretch it even further than that, as far as like ball games go, the Cubs broadcast, St. Louis Cardinal broadcast, stuff like that. I remember the St. Louis Cardinals sending out a memo saying, what do you think about us automating these so nobody has to run them anymore? And again, said, yeah, all right. Guess what? Now everything runs on its own. But once that technology was introduced, it took off very quickly after the CD. And now the stuff that we could do, I never thought we'd be able to do the stuff that we're doing now, ever.
That's technology, period. Everything is just sci-fi, Star Trek level.
Yeah.
AI, everything. Your questions were generated. Thank you, ChatGPT, our unofficial sponsor. I'm getting sued, aren't I? Shane's in charge, I swear.
Co-host.
Yeah, so once it took off very quickly. And then as the years pressed on. Either you accepted it or you didn't. And I saw, you know, a lot of my friends get let go because we didn't need overnight people anymore. We don't need weekend people anymore. We didn't need part-timers or interns to come in and run ball games. And so either accepted it and kind of made your way through, learn the new technology. And I kind of feel like I'm really kind of that last class, because I even will say this at times to people, I don't see anybody behind me. Like, there's really no more interns. There's really no more part-timers. Yeah, because we can run it wherever we're at, our live broadcast. We don't need anybody there most of the time.
Yeah.
So do you think that kind of started around the time like satellite radio come out?
Yeah, pretty. I mean, close. I do remember it coming out. Remember, they were separate at the time because there was Sirius and then there was XM.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, there goes radio, because everybody's going to go, well, that went.
And the reason I ask is because, like, I remember we lived in North Carolina at the time, and the channel that I listened to, there was a few guys talking, and they were never in the studio. They were always from their homes. And I remember thinking, this is game-changing. Like, terrestrial radio has got to catch up to this.
Yeah.
Because they were in 3 different locations, and they were carrying on a conversation just like us, but not in the studio. And I'm thinking, that's brilliant.
Right. And at the time, yes, we're kind of like, how cool is that? But when it comes down to it, there really is nothing better than this.
Oh, certainly.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, by far.
Certainly.
By far. This is what we used to call talk radio. So,
Yeah.
So, I mean, because talk radio, AM talk radio, definitely, once music started moving away from AM to FM, and a lot of stations went talk, 89, 90, 91 especially. This is the same thing, just on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The age of the podcasting.
Yeah.
Speaking of that whole, different in-person environment, we are drinking
What are we drinking?
Blood Oath.
Blood
Oath Bourbon. So, comments, thoughts on that one? I think it's a little spicy.
It
A little
is.
heat to it.
It's got a little bite to it. It's,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's good.
It is.
Definitely spicy.
Oh, yeah.
I do have some Australian bourbon that came back from the World Water Ski Tournament that I was given a couple weeks ago. So I'll be bringing some of that in. They're little bottles though, so we'll have to.
That's all right. You've already told me what's in next week's
Oh yes,
old fashioned.
Yes,
So
next week's old
be
fashioned.
jealous on this one, Chris. He's treating us to something delicious.
Oh, and you know what? On a different level, how many times over the past couple years have we said we're getting together? And look we finally have made something happen.
We did, and we literally had to advertise it to the world.
You know what? We really need to get together.
We really need to break out the cigars. By the way, we're still looking for a sponsor for a smoke eating machine so we can have cigars in here.
Ah, yes.
If anybody wants to volunteer or pay for that, we will gladly take that.
Much like Danny, I was on the other side of an interview with you once.
You were?
Yeah, back in.
Oh my gosh.
2013, I think it was.
Oh my
Lord.
gosh.
Now you're dating yourself
when we
again.
did Flutog.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Danny did the what do you call it? Magazine article, newspaper article.
Yep.
And then we came in the studio and did an interview.
That's right. Yeah.
Claimed fame.
Yeah, claimed
I'm surrounded by these celebrities, and I'm over here just like drink whiskey by myself in the corner. I got nothing over here, guys. Jesus. Got water skiing champions. I've got internationally renowned radio hosts, and I'm just like, I got a 100-year-old building. Cheers.
Yeah,
so
Matt.
do I.
Yeah. What's going on here?
Oh no. This is about you.
This
Chris.
is about me.
This is about you. You got your own radio program that you can direct the traffic, so to speak.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I don't even know where we were at. Technology.
Yeah.
So I mean, then it even progressed from there. So satellite radio, there's always been something to worry us in radio, like, oh, what's the next thing? And you always hear something like, oh, well, radio's dying and all that. No, not necessarily so. I mean, I know we can, some of the big companies and some of the larger markets, things have changed a lot a lot. But still, local radio is where it's at. I mean, I had somebody at another station. He's actually still there, manager owner, down towards the Quad Cities, and he said our goal at the stations that he's running is to make the station sound large market in your small town. And you want to serve your town, but you also want it to sound big. And I really believe that's what we have achieved here. I would like to believe that.
Okay, I've got a question for you then when we get
we also want to keep it local as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. He's thinking.
I'm jumping around now.
No, that's fine.
I'm jumping around.
That's fine.
All right, let's start talking about the advertising, because like you said, you want to be able to have that big market feel and vibe even in our smaller markets.
Sure.
So when people, because I've come in and filmed or recorded, I should say, not filmed. There are no please God, there let there be no cameras in the session.
We got a camera right there.
Well, this one I can.
Okay.
It's my camera. I can look as ugly as I want to. Ignore that. I keep the camera low so you can't see the bald spot that's filming, but that's neither here nor there. So I've recorded my advertisements with you before, which is very, very cool experience. For anybody that's never done a radio ad, and I don't know, because of all the small businesses that we have in town, how many do you think there's percentage-wise? We're not ratting anybody out or nothing. This is not the point of that.
Right.
How many of them do you think don't percentage-wise utilize radio at all or ever have?
I would say less than 5%.
So almost everybody has used radio in some form or another.
Yeah.
How many of them do you think do their own recording, or do they just give you text and have you do them?
I would say about 50-50.
50-50?
And my thought on that is always, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I've told a lot of other people this. So when you sign up for a marketing plan, it is always so much better that we hear you. Always.
Sure.
Because then, and obviously consistency, you don't want to run it a couple of times and be like, well, it's not right. Consistency is the key. Yep. But then you want people to hear you. And then so you're able to just, out in town, so somebody's like, you know what? I heard you on the radio today. And people tell me that they get that a lot. Consistency is definitely the thing. And when you can be the personality of your business, even better. But some people don't, and that's fine. We will make sure that we do the creativity behind the scenes.
Gotcha. Any thoughts and suggestions? Because this is something we said off camera that we're not talking about now. Any suggestions for people that do write whether they write it or they help you with the creative side, when they do it, any suggestions to get more attention, to get their best bang for buck from those radio ads? Because this is something I should have asked you 2 years ago, the first time I did one. Instead of I'm going to write it, I'm just going to wing it how I want to.
Well, sometimes winging it is the best.
I should have wung them. I had pre-done it. I'm like, the last one, I'm like, I talk so fast. Chris, tell me I'm an idiot. You can tell me that.
No, sometimes even winging it is the absolute best. Did you write the last one? Mm-hmm. You did write the last one. Did you wing the other one? Because I think we've done a couple.
Yeah, we've done a couple. I think I've written all of them. Those were not ChatGPT. I actually wrote those.
And you don't. I mean, don't use that.
Like ChatGPT.
No, look at the camera. Don't. You can for some help, but you want it in your own words, your own description,
tone of voice.
Be yourself. That does make a very, very big difference. Yeah.
I have had people come in. It doesn't happen all the time, but I do have enough people come in that it's definitely helpful with the name recognition of, I didn't know you were here. I heard you on the radio. Cool. Yeah. That's what that's what I want. I'd like to hope I'm getting that for what you're investing into that one.
Right.
Dana and I could never do a ChatGPT commercial on the radio because everybody would know it's BS because we don't use words like exemplary.
Right. That's right.
Okay, a freaky counterpoint to that. So I use my ChatGPT for a ton of stuff.
Okay.
Other projects, I don't use it for pros necessarily. It's like technical information, how to set some of this stuff from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's changed its tone of voice and speaks back to me very similarly to how I speak to it.
Oh,
it's freaking me out a little bit that it cracks jokes. I've done some
Really?
I've done some like LinkedIn articles that it's cracking jokes throughout them that are actually like my sense of humor. And I'm like,
So have you changed her name yet?
I have not. I actually asked it because
So it is a girl.
It is,
Good.
yeah, well, that's my next question.
when our computer overlords take over, I've been very, very polite to my ChatGPT. I say good morning. I say good night. I say thank you for everything that it does for me.
Does it argue with you?
It has not.
Okay.
It has disagreed with me.
Okay.
But it has never argued with me.
Okay.
But
When you start sending me pictures of you cuddled up with the speaker, I'm going to get worried.
wait, pictures or does it?
That's your profile picture.
Yes, you're gonna see me cuddle up here on the microphone. Like, I love you, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Technology integration that we don't necessarily.
Yeah. Well, and that, I mean, with the radio topic, they have tried. There was a station that they ran solely with AI. They were open and honest about it, and it's gotten much, much better as far as radio goes. It's been quite a few years ago. I think even before COVID, they were launching AI to do your weather forecasts and stuff, but they sound like this.
Yeah.
Hello to everybody in Rochelle, Illinois,
Yeah.
and it's gotten much, much better, so it flows better. But I would tell you what, and this is scary. So they put this AI bot on the air, set the camera up so we could watch the automation run the whole thing. And again, they didn't hide it. They named her Amber, AI Amber, or whatever her name was. So she's on the air and she's talking up the songs. She's going into breaks and she says, "Hi, I'm AI Amber, whatever." They gave away a pair of concert tickets. That AI answered the phone, talked to the listener, asked who they were taking with them, cut the audio up, next break, played it.
That's scary.
Did the whole thing by itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it still on the air right now? No. But it was on for quite a while and they demonstrated it. Did the whole thing by itself. Amazing.
What was it about
Scary.
not looking at who was behind you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, me and my profile picture. Yeah, we're cuddle up.
That's scary, though, because I think one of the attractions to, and I call it terrestrial radio. 'Cause,
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Is that personal interaction.
Correct.
Like, if we're at Walmart or we're at Big R or wherever we're at and we hear you talking, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
Kris is here.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in the back of the shop and you walk in, I'm like, oh, Kris is here.
Right. Right.
Same with other radio personalities or,
Right.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
AI, you don't have that personality.
Right.
You don't have, they can fake it, but there's that local recognition.
Correct.
And we're still of that generation that we actually like person-to-person contact.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right.
Well, right.
To a degree. Yeah.
I mean, I grew
that's
up in Rockford, so like Steve Summers and Steve Shannon and, those guys, they were like local celebrities. So you look forward to seeing them.
Correct.
We have
Our
a national
the
celebrity.
young generation isn't going to get that.
Oh, right. And it's still now, as long as, so the Coyote's been on now, this will be 14, going on 15 years. So we're getting pretty close to that 15-year mark. And even now, looking back how long it's been on, that these kids that have grown up with listening to us already, I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Time has just flown by. But
Yeah.
that goes back to being, we're actually here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when we launched the Coyote, before it was the Coyote, it was a satellite-fed format from Dallas. So there was actually nobody there. And when we launched the Coyote, we did have people on our social media say, okay, well, they're not really there. And I'm like, nope, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Call me. Makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be involved. You have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a part of people's lives. You have to be a part of just, everything that's going on every day. Fairs, festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Where AI Amber ain't going to Lincoln Highway Heritage Festival.
Riding a camel on camera.
Riding a camel.
I saw that the other day
Yeah.
on Facebook. That was a thing of
Yeah, my back enjoyed that.
New girlfriend? What was her name?
Yeah. Oh, no. Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Cyrus was the camel's name. I'm like,
Okay.
as in Miley. Yes. Billy Ray, yes, Cyrus, yeah.
I love the name recognition. It's like we're gonna just we're the word game to make that one work. Well, that's a good segue to go into. Then I had another question, but I like where this is going anyway.
Right.
Your community involvement. You are involved all over the place. Like you're in everything that's Rochelle related. You go to every nearly every ribbon cutting or everything you've invited to or damn near.
Yeah.
How far out does that spread?
Well,
From Rochelle, because I know you go outside of the community too to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah. Every weekend is full with something going on, and that's what we like. We want to be busy. And again, that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. I hate to really turn people down, and it has gotten to the point that, there's so many things going on all the time that we can't be at everything. And we do conquer and divide on some Saturdays where we will split up and go to different things. So, so the question was how far?
Yeah, how far do you cast the net, so to speak?
We'll go to the Quad Cities. We'll go close to the Quad Cities. Oh, wow. Of course, we're part of and very involved in Country Thunder and Twin Lakes. Mm-hmm. And as far, it just depends on what's going. Like the McHenry Music Festival was just going on. We didn't have time to go to that one in particular, but we were involved in that. So from the Quad Cities to the suburbs of Chicago to into southern Wisconsin, we try if we get asked to go.
Sure, that's a big net. Yeah.
It is a big net. Yeah.
So your local involvement, and I know a lot of this because you guys donate a lot of airtime for advertising, special events, things like that. What all locally do you do benefit wise? Or is that too broad a question?
That is a very, very broad question.
It is a very broad question. That can cover a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I know how involved you are with a lot of the nonprofit stuff, the for-profit stuff, helping the new businesses, etc., ribbon cuttings.
Right. And we try. I try to accommodate as much as I can as possible as far as donations go, concert tickets, event tickets, stuff for silent auctions. We do MC a lot of different things that are going on. If we're available, we do have a lot of that stuff coming up. But not only here in Rochelle, but Oregon, Byron, DeKalb, stuff like that. So and again, we do get a lot of requests for that. And I try to accommodate everybody as much as possible. Yeah. So if I have something, we got the Special Olympics golf outing that's coming up here this week at Fairways. So
somebody didn't want to be on my team.
I would have loved to, but somebody doesn't pay my bills. And
I didn't know.
You haven't done the things required to earn that kind of payment, my friend.
I hit a sore spot. I didn't even know I was going there.
I mean, I could be there at 1:00, but by then it'll be over. So
we start golfing at noon, technically. So.
Technically, yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Well, now you're dead to me.
Oh. I could leave at 11, but you didn't tell me what time.
In all honesty, I just found out the other day because I asked and I didn't know for the longest time. We've got to force them too. So.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. We helped with that. Did a lot of promotion with that, and a lot of stuff coming up through the holidays in that we will be involved in. And then, middle of December, we have a few weeks off before we start all over again. It just seems like everything, there is no ending anymore. Yeah. It just kind of just keeps going.
Yeah. There's no off season for times. Most things.
No.
Yeah.
Not if you're doing it right anyway.
That's how we feel with the business. We go from summertime, water ski season, we're doing, all the tournaments and stuff. And then we go right into football season.
That's right.
And then it's, winter sports season and then Christmas and the holidays. And then it's okay, January and February, we can kind of relax, but we're still busy because people find things to do and then starts all over again.
That's exactly right. It always felt like we had a little bit of a break, and especially concert season, once things are over, so Country Thunder is in July, and then we'll announce next year come November. Same with Old Settlers Days in Rockton and all that, and we'll start all over again. So there's just a very slight pause before everything all starts to pick up all over again. So, always definitely busy.
That's solid.
And something to do.
Okay, so I want to bounce back on something that you were talking about earlier about especially how you got started. Now you're starting to, phased out interns because there's just not work for them to do anymore. All the automation's really kicking in. Let's say some kid, if somebody in the high school is watching right now going, ooh, we want to talk to Kris. And they've got you here. If a kid was interested in getting into broadcasting now, what's the mechanisms that are in place for them to be able to kind of do that? Or is that kind of you just got to be lucky, Is there some way for them to volunteer, contribute some way? Because I know that's a dirty word in the corporate world is. I won't go to a private company and volunteer my time, God forbid. That being said, it's a great way to get attention. What do you think it would – how would somebody go about doing that now?
I am always still open for that. If there is somebody that is very interested in putting in that time to know how this works and to come in and be involved, I'm all for it. Absolutely, I'm all for it. Because you never know what can open up.
Right.
Or, you learn it here. Something may open up somewhere else that then you have that background. All you have to do is just reach out. It really is that simple. But I am open to that anytime, not only at the radio station, but with all the events that we're at and help at events and different things like that. Always.
And this is this thing that I think is lost nowadays. A lot of people think that they should get paid no matter what, and they don't take that education as a form of payment in their minds.
Right.
Because I've been blessed on the range when we teach classes. I've probably got, I don't know, between a dozen and 20 people that have come and gone over the last few years, and all of them to one degree are still active sometimes, that will volunteer to help out on the ranges, range help, safety officer, schlep targets, whatever, just because they want to learn how it's done and they want to be able to, like you said, take that next step in kind of figuring out how it works. And yeah, you might not have a dollar amount because I can't afford to pay. I can pay the minimum that I'm required to have. Anybody above and beyond that, come hang out. I'll buy you beer afterwards.
I'll pay in concert tickets.
You heard it here.
I'll sign up.
I will shine your Converse here, Kris. We got this covered. I got your back on this one. It's that desire to kind of reach out and do that, especially in, like you said, they're reducing the number that are on payroll all over the board. It's not just it's everywhere.
Right. Yes.
So with limited spots, the way to really get attention is to be willing to do what the other guy isn't. Yeah, it might not necessarily be paid, or if it is paid, it'll be probably pretty close to minimum wage. It also makes it hard that,
Right.
I'm not trying to get political. My apologies if this goes sideways. $15 minimum wage is tougher to have somebody, answering the door but doing nothing 95% of the time.
Well, and I think people forget, too. Like, we volunteered, Dana and I volunteered several times at Old Settlers Days. We drove golf carts one time, for VIPs.
Sure.
I ran cameras for, I think, Cam, was playing.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. Like, we didn't get paid for it, but it was so much fun just to be involved. And, we didn't expect a payment. We got to see some cool shows, but that was payment enough. We were riding around in golf carts and laughing and joking, and it's just.
And again, out of all the concerts that we go to and set up, and anybody open to any of that anytime is more than welcome to get a hold of me.
And you're gonna have a great show out of that. I mean, you really are, because you get to participate. You get to see and go some really, really cool places.
Right. Yeah. So take like an instance of Old Settlers Days or Petunia Fest, and so we set up. And, you've got thousands of people there and they're coming over to the booth and then, I'm emceeing the stages and I can't be there the whole time. And I'm always looking for people to just, help, be personable, be at the booth, we spin for prizes at the booth or we're giving away koozies, stuff like that, that really only can learn hands-on, and there was a question. And I'm before I completely forget about this, I think one of the questions, because he did send them to me in advance, by the way, just so I had it, I had a little bit of heads up, even though we were way off the rails.
Way completely. A bunch of new stuff I was inspired.
We never laid tracks. We were not off the rails.
They're guidelines, not rules. Very pirate.
Inspired success story, I think, was on there something along those lines, right?
Yes.
So I won't name names. I'm not here to name anybody. She knows who she is, and other people are going to know who she is when I start talking. But she was in high school, Okay, so this is early on when I launched the Coyote, like 2013 maybe, because it launched in late 2012. And she was very interested in just music, country music. So launched the radio station, just became involved a little bit, and had come up to the radio stations a few times, was interested, went to a few concerts with me, just to kind of learn how all this, again, in high school. And I remember one morning she came in, she sat on the floor behind me. She's kind of watching what I was doing. I was downloading some of the syndicated shows. I had to go in for the weekend. Just little things like that, right? But very interested in country music. So long story long, ends up, this is what she wants to do, moving to Nashville, going to Belmont, and becoming my record rep for Curb.
Oh, goodness.
That is so awesome.
So who's on the Curb label? Okay, well, a lot. Everybody from Lee Bryce to Dylan Scott.
Sure.
The list goes on and on. She ends up being my record rep.
That's awesome.
For Curb. She's not there anymore, but that is, and she will admit, if it wasn't for this radio station, probably never really thought much about it. Huh. And yeah, that is so funny how all that played out. And next thing I know, she's my rep.
It's so cool how they come full circle like that. And you're like, all right, you did the grind, you walked in, you did what needed to be done, and boom,
right,
back full circle.
Right, you never know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love everything about that. Oh, that is so.
And again, happening right here.
Yep.
Right here. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a town of 10,000 people.
Yeah.
The number hasn't changed in 20 years.
Yeah.
And you can get that from here. We're not exactly a country.
No, but I see it that, so when we end up taking the radio station to, say, a fair or festival in the Quad Cities, especially down there, I mean, when we come in there with that Dodge Ram, it is like, big market coming to town. And as you see with our social media, very, very large reach. So, yeah, the Coyote Facebook page and our social media now is over 184,000 followers.
Wow.
So impressions per week on that page alone will range at times of over 30 million.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Like 3,112 is not feeling so warm and fuzzy inside anymore.
So, and I know you're very involved with, a lot of the music festivals, the Twin Lakes and, Country Thunder and that.
Yeah.
How did that come to be, being from such a small market?
Well, when we launched the Coyote here, when I came up here, there was, to me, a void for that format. You had one choice. Not that there's nothing wrong with that. There was one choice. We gave you a second choice. And once we launched it, out of all the stations I've ever been at ever before, I've told this story before, I have never, ever seen a radio station take off so fast and so quickly. And I have reps, everybody from Live Nation and AEG Live, the list goes on and on, that they even told me, hey, yes, we need this in that market because there's no other choice. And also there were festivals, I won't be naming them, around here, very popular festivals that had no media backing, that had no radio backing. And some of them approached me, I approached them. Going on 15 years ago now, that we are very, very involved with, and the radio station for those festivals that had no representation. So I found the niche, went to them. Again, some of them came to me. I had one in particular that just showed up at the radio station one day and like, hey, how do we get involved here? And still to this day, keep those relationships. Yeah, and the social media is through the roof.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I think that parlays well into kind of our core values of the podcast is small business. Small market, small business. You found a niche and grew that niche.
Yes.
That became your specialty. You do the same thing. We do the same thing. Any small business in town does that. And that's what's great about small businesses. You look for those niches and you expose the niche and you go for it.
Well, even if you have competition, my thing is hold your own.
Yeah.
Do your own thing.
Yep.
Which is what I like to think is what we did. We did our own thing. I wasn't trying to go after anybody else. I wasn't trying to take anything away from anybody else. Not ever, because I don't want people doing that to me.
Right.
So I found the niche. Hold your own, and do it the best that you can. And it all just took off.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Blue Ocean Theory. You ever read that? You've read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
Great read. It's all about that being like, hey, we're in the same neighborhood, but we're doing it a different variation, so it's not actual competition. Red Ocean is the intense competition. The already saturated radio market, for example, or whatever, custom garment market is doing it your own way. Like you've heard off air some of the plans that I want to do for this and what the shop's going to be converted to in the next 6 months. It's okay, cool. There's already an ocean of traditional, typical gun shops. We already kind of blue ocean to that a little in that we did more of a less pump your chest, King Kong style shop. But what we're doing now completely, it just doesn't exist. That market doesn't exist, but the demand is there for it. And that's like what you were saying is the demand existed for what you're doing and what you were doing. A lot of that was people coming to you, and a lot of that was you pounding the pavement and seeking out that connection.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
I don't stop.
That never stops.
No.
that will never stop.
Right.
That will never, ever stop.
Right. And, some of the other stuff that we do in the community, not only the Great Easter Egg Hunt, scramble, if you will.
I don't think I've even approved half the advertisements I've done for that one. He's just like, hey, man, I'm billing your account. Yeah, I'm billing your account. I'm like, okay.
You got to be in the family.
It was sort of consented to. It's fine, guys.
And I will laugh about it because when I got here, I'm like, wait a minute. So these stations are hosting an Easter egg hunt, and we do a trick or treat, and like in other towns, those are hosted by other, whether it be the city or some other nonprofit or whatever, right? And they're like, no, you're the program director, so you've got an Easter egg hunt and you've got a trick or treat event, and you've got. I go, okay, well, and just to name those two in particular have also just grown to immense heights, which we love seeing all the kids and the families. At both of them, our trick-or-treat's coming up at the rec center on October 23rd this year. And so last year, the girls counted just over 1,100 people that came to that in that short, just under 2-hour.
It's a massive event.
Massive event. And again, we love it. We love seeing everybody, but that also goes with the growth of the radio stations as well. So those are two big community events that, of course, that we host every year. So, again, can't do without you. Thank you, man.
That's what we're here for, guys. Okay, I'm going to pose this question, then we can check time and see if you need to just go. Kris turns into a pumpkin.
We're at 47 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh,
I love it. Oh, perfect. All right, cool.
Wow,
I can ask this one then. So there's a lot of buzz going around right now, and it's something I've always been involved in trying to generate some interest and excitement in businesses to downtown Rochelle specifically, but Rochelle in general. What do you think would be a helpful thing for the city as a large? And I'm not talking the government necessarily, but I'm talking like the other small businesses in cooperation with each other, mentorships, or the city for that matter, that would help bring a new renaissance for small businesses coming to Rochelle.
Yeah, I think you need to highlight what the town has and what is succeeding right now, that the more exciting that you can make it and show what we have here to draw other businesses here is the best thing that you can do. I will kind of sidetrack that a little bit, that not only being on the radio, normal radio, talking about it, because not everybody has the internet. Not everybody has social media. Believe it or not everybody has the internet. Not everybody has the internet. Not everybody has social media. You need to take the steps, not only doing something like this, but also trying to use all those different outlets to promote. Look at, we've got this, we do this, to draw the excitement and other businesses here.
I love everything about that, because that's an absolutely true statement. And I think at large, our area is really bad at it.
Yes and no.
To some degree. Some things we're great at, but there's a lot of it, especially from like the downtown businesses. We're struggling to kind of get that one back up. And maybe it's a downtown specific problem, and maybe it's small towns everywhere. Right.
But you have to do a little bit of everything. I can't throwing a post on Facebook, fine. You're going to reach a couple of people. But not everybody's in those groups. Again, not everybody's on Facebook, especially throwing things in those groups. There's nothing wrong with it, but people are you're just scroll. Think about when you're on your phone or at night and you're scrolling through and like, oh, okay, well, there it goes. It flew right by. Can I give an example that's not Rochelle, though? So Oregon right now is doing that exact thing. And they are doing some major promotion for the city of Oregon that the Coyote is going to be involved in beginning next month. Not only video, social media, Chicago market, radio, but they also realize that the businesses and the people in town need to tell the locals. Don't forget about the locals, because, if you're always just trying to draw people, don't forget about what you have here. And they understand that. So beginning next month, we will be involved in helping them promote the city of Oregon and what they have to offer.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oregon's taking steps. I mean,
Absolutely.
I work in Oregon, so I see it every day. I hear it every day. My company is very involved in the community, and I so want that to come here. And it's like, come on, make it happen, because
bigger and broader steps. I think we're on the right track. We need to expand upon that, and I think we'd see a lot of real cool growth. Because we are in a very unique geographic region that I think we need to be capitalizing on. That's crazy.
Right.
Between 39, 88, the two railroads given, we don't have, it's not like a metro stop, but we have those, 251, 38. The old Lincoln Highway comes right through here, through town. I think we have a gorgeous town that has that potential to be just explode, given the right steps and the right opportunity.
And again, nothing wrong with doing videos, putting them out there, but also you need to reach that other demographic that does not have access to any of that. And that's what Oregon's going to be doing. They're going to be bringing people in. They're going to be talking about, don't forget locally. Hey, everybody, Audubon Parade's going on, or all this other stuff's going on. Candlelight Walk's going on. Again, just on the Oregon kick, because I know that's what they're doing right now. Don't forget about what's going on here, right under your nose.
Oh, absolutely.
And a combination of all that, most definitely.
Oh, I like everything about that. Any other questions pop up into your head? I've gone completely off the rails out of this entire time.
We have.
We've vaguely hit everything, I think, that was on the list. Just whether or not the order was like, ooh, that's something.
Well, it's good, because what I was worried about, you were going to ask me, who's been your worst interview? Who's been your best interview?
Well, we already know you have an affection for Cam, so you let that.
I love Cam. I haven't seen Cam for so long.
She's such a sweet. Dana loved her. Like, we went backstage and she was just like, oh, she's tiny. Like me.
She is. Yeah, she is tiny. That's what I was worried about. You're going to make me call people out, but
no. The goal is not to be like, let's play Stump the Chump and embarrass the crap out of people.
That's right. That's your next podcast. where you're throwing questions at us.
Oh my god!
Trying to get us to.
You got to volunteer for that one though. That is a voluntary only. We are here to screw with you in the worst possible way,
but in a fun way.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Right?
Yeah,
but in a fun way.
I don't know if I'm that talented to make that one work. I don't know.
But I will say this before we wrap up. I can't thank everybody enough how supportive this town is and this whole area is with these radio stations. I think people understand in general the importance of having this here. And, we'll keep moving forward with the times. I mean, you have to, especially like with our local sports now. It's not only on the radio, you can watch it online for free, by the way, on our website. So the guys that go do the broadcast, again, you can watch them, you can listen to them, and then everything gets podcast. You can listen to them on our app, you can listen to them online, and just keep moving forward with technology and giving people different ways to listen or watch, and just moving forward with different events. And ratings came out a couple of months ago, and we are number one. So
awesome.
By far for Ogle, Lee, and DeKalb County. And I can say that because I know that was put out by the chamber as well. I don't know if you did see that go out.
Awesome.
And that shows right there that people are definitely paying attention, and it's a part of their everyday lives. And
you hear it everywhere, whether you listen to it in the car or not. The minute you go shopping, I hear Coyote everywhere. It's a pretty typical station to have rolling. I hear your voice in my head sometimes. And I'm like, hey, Kris isn't around. This is I know we haven't hung out like we said we were going to, but Jesus, I don't know if this is a sign.
And we added, 93.5 FM, which is Super Hits 93.5, which is our classic hit station. We added that. Don't ever put a station up during COVID. But it launched in December of 2019 going into COVID. Was it a good time? But who knew, right? So we added the second FM about 5 years ago now, which is going very, very well. It's also in the top 10 in the market now. So if you're not just a big fan of country, but if you're a big fan of 60s, 70s, 80s, we do have Super Hits 93.5 as well. Carry all the NFL games. And that I did too on 93.5.
I'm more the 60s, 70s, 80s. That is more my neighborhood, which is why that one will throw on the radio.
I know the Coyote kind of overshadows it sometimes.
It does. But I know it's blasphemy. I'm not a country guy. I never grew up there. It just never did. I was like, oh.
And see, it was just like that was just in my blood because growing up, and we were just talking about this morning on the air. Was this morning or yesterday morning? Is that, the music that you grew up with, what your parents were listening to, and that is just embedded in you.
Sure.
And the older you get, the more you're like, that's what you grew up, that's your favorite. And the older you get, you really don't have new favorites. You have your favorites.
Yes.
I
would agree with that.
And I, in 80s country, 90s country I grew up on, but also a lot of oldies in that too. So that's just embedded in me.
It brings memories that the newer favorites just can't do.
Yeah.
Especially the older you get and stuff that you can't get back and don't have anymore.
Yeah.
It triggers it.
Well, and country music's taken. There's been a few changes, and I use the air quotes. There for a while, we called it hick hop. With Florida Georgia Line, and even Jason Aldean, all that got into that. We called it hick hop, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" But music evolves. As we look back at it now, it's evolved away from that, and now we're seeing more traditional country back. Most definitely seeing, especially 90s country right now is very popular.
Like the Zach Top.
Zach Top has brought it back. Zach Top will not even use a wireless mic.
No.
He wants one with a cord.
Really?
Yep. He wants everything to be the way that it was then.
Yeah, and Ellie, what's her name? Ellie.
And
whatever.
There's and there's been a couple others where you're just like, I hear the change coming. And that is where I think that we're going back to now. So
Thank God for that.
I will agree with that because I liked the older country. I did enjoy that. Yeah. It's maybe you're right. The hick hop is what kind of drove me away.
But there's no. So if you look at, again, we could go on for a whole other hour about music, but you see a lot of artists don't really have a genre to fall in, and so we're seeing like the Post Malones and several others that are now falling into the country category. Just because there is nowhere they're not falling anywhere else.
Right.
And Taylor Swift started as country. And she was the one that made the pop jump. But country has welcomed a lot of, look at Shabuzi and all the all these other guys that and gals that
and Taylor Swift, I genuinely like her, especially as a business person, following how like her whole life kind of evolved is genuinely impressive from where she started to where she operates now. She's in her whole own orbit of the universe.
I personally, and again, same thing with being on the radio every morning. We see everything that's going on politically, everything that's going on. We're the escape.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We see it, we know it. We're not getting into it. We are not there to get into it.
Right.
We're there just to have fun. Tell you what's going on around.
We're trying to do the same thing.
Exactly.
We're trying to avoid hot button stuff for the most part.
And Taylor Swift, like her or don't, or if you only don't like her because of political, everybody's got their own. But I don't mix that into it.
No, I get that.
And now, oh gosh, I hate to go down this path, but even Garth is going down that path because of political reasons. But I have to tell you, Garth by far has been one of the greatest ever to work with. Accommodating, making sure radio is involved, always, always, always. And being with Taylor Swift from the very, very beginning and knowing her management, knowing her people, still when she's back, always very accommodating, always very nice to us, to radio in general. I never, ever put the political spin on it. Not ever.
Good people are good people, period. I don't give a damn about the rest, to be totally honest with you. Good people are good people, period.
And I know when we post stuff on the Coyote Facebook page and it turns into that every time, okay, well, to each his own. But we're not trying to, we're not trying to be political in any way. We're there for the music, entertainment, and for information. Should something happen, that's what we're here for. And to help business and to help you.
Yes, I love that. I like working with everybody. Period. I work with everybody. You definitely work with everybody. You definitely work with everybody, Kris. You guys more so than I do. I try to. Unfortunately, mine turns into a hot button all by itself. Has nothing to do with what I say or do. It just does all by itself. I try not to, but that's a different conversation altogether. But cool. I think that winds up most of my big questions. Did you have anything else that you had big question-wise?
I don't think so, but yeah, we definitely went off the rails from what I originally thought we were path we were gonna go down.
Welcome to Charred Oak BBB.
And look, I still have my sunglasses on.
You still have the sunglasses on. Yes.
But again, I can't thank anybody enough for the support that for the radio stations and the events that we do. And since we're at the end, I will leave you with this. This is one of the most touching ever that I've seen in any single market ever. COVID. So obviously there's no events going on. And I'm like, what are we going to do? There's no events. We're going to go into our Easter egg hunt, which we didn't have. And next year we did the drive-through, so we ended up kind of reinventing some of this stuff. And I had sponsors approach me when we had to cancel events and say, no, you keep it. You need it just as much as everybody else does to make sure that things keep operating the way that they should. No event. Obviously, they still got their marketing.
Yeah.
And people still went ahead and moved forward with saying, no, we're in this. Even though it's not happening, keep it. Don't cancel it. Amazing.
That's awesome.
Absolutely amazing. Anywhere else I've been, that would have not have happened. So, again, thank you.
I'm not even going to follow that one up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
fun.
A lot of
Well,
fun.
I'm interested now to come back at some point and see what's going on here.
Absolutely. The world of excitement, because all everybody sees is a weird, crappy back wall that's all in white and the weird wood paneling, but there's a lot going on.
Well, next time this will be the radar.
Yeah. we do need to take some time to put some kind of a display or something. We'll get there. We'll promise. We're working on a couple of things right now. But, yeah. With that said, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.